I was able to grow my hair to butt length with long relaxer stretches. My relaxer stretches can go as long as 16 months, and I am able to do this successfully without breakage. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to do this as well. Hi my loves, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Here in this channel we talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and anything hair related. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to join the family. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys tips on how to stretch your relaxers without breakage, and without further ado, let's just get started. So if you've been following me, you know that relaxer stretches is one of my major secrets to length retention. It's one of the major things that helps me grow my hair to butt length, and I always talk about relaxer stretches in almost all my videos. In fact, I have gone on relaxer stretch challenges to the point that I have gone on a 16 months relaxer stretch, and one of the most common questions I get asked is how I am able to successfully stretch my relaxers without breakage. So it is one thing to stretch your relaxer, and it is another thing to have a successful relaxer stretch. So that's why today I'm going to be giving you tips on how to successfully stretch your relaxers in order to prevent breakage and retain length from your relaxer stretch. So the first tip I'm going to be sharing with you guys is to stretch gradually. I always talk about this. You don't want to go from relaxing your hair every 8 weeks to now wanting to stretch your relaxers for 6 months. Sis, it is definitely not going to end well. Okay, so always make sure you increase the duration of your relaxer stretch gradually. When I started stretching my relaxers, I started with 3 months. From 3 months, I went to 4 months, from 4 months, 6 months, then 8 months, then 1 year, and then 16 months. So it's always best to increase the duration of your relaxer stretch gradually. When you do this, you are giving yourself and your hair enough time to adapt to the new growth. So for example, if you've been stretching your relaxers before for 2 months, instead of jumping to 6 months, try 3 months. From 3 months, you can move to 4 months, from 4 months to 5 months, 5 months, 6 months, just like that. And if you can do this, you will find out that it will get to a point that you'll be able to stretch your relaxers for even over a year. So always make sure to increase the duration of your relaxer stretches gradually. Moving on, the next tip I'm going to be sharing with you guys is low manipulation. Now, breakage usually occurs at the point of demarcation between your new growth and your previously relaxed hair. So if you try to keep manipulation at this point to the barest minimum, you'll be able to prevent breakage. So this is why low manipulation is key. The less you manipulate your hair, the better, because most of the time breakage occurs when you are manipulating your hair. It is less likely for you to get breakage when your hair is just on its own, like without you manipulating it, without you handling it, styling it, combing it, and all of that. You will notice that most of the time when your hair is breaking is when you are actively doing something on your hair. So for example, when you are styling, or when you are detangling, or when you are washing, like when you are actively doing something on your hair. But when your hair is alone on its own, without any form of manipulation, without any form of activity going on, it is less likely to get breakage, which is going to take me to my next point, which is protective styling. So low manipulation is very easy when you do protective styling. And when I say protective styling, I'm talking more about long-term protective styles. So when you put your hair in a protective style, when your hair is tucked away, when your ends are tucked away, when that point of demarcation between your new growth and your previously relaxed hair is tucked away in a protective style, it is less likely for your hair to get breakage because your hair is going to be protected. That point of transition that we are scared of is going to be protected. In fact, this is one of my top secrets when it comes to relaxer stretches. If you've been following me, you know that I usually do protective style challenges and relaxer stretch challenges together. So for me, protective styling is how I basically stretch my relaxers. Like if protective styling didn't exist, I wouldn't even bother stretching my relaxers because I wouldn't have the energy, the time, the strength to be handling that every single day. And then it will be possible that I would not even get results from my relaxer stretches, because if I'm going to be handling it every day, it means that my hair is going to be more manipulated, meaning that there is going to be a higher risk of breakage and less length retention. So in that case, instead of my hair getting longer, it may be stuck at the same length or even get shorter. So that is why I cannot even imagine stretching my relaxers without protective styling. So this is one of my major secrets when it comes to stretching relaxers. So always make sure that your hair is in a protective style when you are attempting to stretch your relaxers. Some of my favorite protective styles when it comes to stretching my relaxers include box braids, mini braids, twists, cornrows, and wigs. Moving on, my next tip for you guys is to have a relaxer stretch wash day routine. Sometimes the wash day routine I use immediately after I get a relaxer is different from when I am in a relaxer stretch. So you need to develop a wash day routine tailored to your relaxer stretch. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. started, it may just be something as simple as washing your hair in smaller sections, or using more of your products while detangling, or using more products or deep conditioner on your wash day. I have a particular wash day routine I use when I'm stretching my relaxers, which I've already shared with you guys in a previous video. It's going to be in my hair care regimen playlist, which is linked down in the description box below. So previously, before I started very long relaxer stretches, I could get away with washing my hair all down, like washing my hair without sectioning, not detangling in the shower and all of that. But ever since I started very long relaxer stretches, I had to tweak my wash day routine. So what I do now is to wash my hair in sections. And then another thing that also helped me was detangling while in the shower. So previously I didn't used to do this, but I saw a very big difference when I started doing this. And I'm not talking about using a comb or a brush, I'm talking about using my fingers. So when I'm in the shower, when I'm shampooing my hair, when I'm deep conditioning, I usually run my fingers through my hair to sort of like detangle my hair. So I noticed that after doing this, when I come out of the shower, my hair is pretty much detangled, and then I don't have to do so much work with a comb, thereby reducing breakage. Moving on, the next tip I have for you guys is to be gentle. You cannot compare when you are on a relaxer stretch to when you are not actively trying to increase the duration of your relaxer stretches. And that point of transition between your new growth and the previously relaxed hair is always going to be fragile. So whenever you're carrying out a routine on your hair, be it detangling, combing, brushing, washing, styling, all of that, you have to be gentle. In fact, most of the time when I'm on long relaxer stretches, I try to use my fingers for most of my routines. I only go in with a comb when necessary. For example, when I'm detangling, I always start with my fingers. When I have thoroughly detangled with my fingers, then I go in with a comb. Also, when I'm installing my protective styles, for the parting, I hardly use a comb. Most of the time I use my fingers, especially for the back sections. So basically, always try to be gentle and handle your hair with care while you are stretching your relaxers. Moving on, the next tip I have for you guys is to work in smaller sections. So if you usually work in 2 sections when you are not stretching your relaxers, you may not have to work in 4 sections when you are stretching your relaxers. If you've been doing 4 sections before, you may not have to do 6 sections. If you've been doing 6 sections before, you may not have to do 8 sections. Before I started very long relaxer stretches, sometimes I usually work in 4 sections, but now most of the time I work in 6 to 8 sections. When you are working in smaller sections, you tend to become more gentle, you tend to become less overwhelmed. This may take more time compared to when you are just working in like bigger sections, but trust me sis, the result is definitely worth the stress. In fact, you will notice that when you start working in smaller sections, it will be easier for you to retain length and prevent breakage, because it will be easier for you to detangle your hair. Moving on, the next tip I have for you guys is to stretch your new growth. Now, there are different methods of doing this. There are heatless methods of doing this, and there are ways to do this using heat. Some people use heat, like some people just blow dry their new growth, some people go ahead to blow dry and flat iron, but most of the time I do this by using heatless methods, which is true African threading most of the time. So if you've been watching my videos, especially my wash day routine videos, you'd notice that after washing my hair, I usually put my hair in African threaded twists to like kind of let my hair air dry. In fact, this is how I have been air drying my hair now, I think for the past 2 years, and it has been doing wonders when it comes to stretching my hair, getting my hair straight, and stretching my new growth. Like I said earlier, breakage usually comes from that point of demarcation between the new growth and your previously relaxed hair, and this is because of the difference in textures. The more difference there is in the texture between the new growth and the previously relaxed hair, the more fragile that place is going to be. But if you can get the 2 textures to be as close together as possible, you'll be less likely to get breakage from that point. So this is how stretching your new growth helps to attain this. So yeah guys, those are the tips I have for you on how to successfully stretch your relaxers without breakage. And sis, if you can implement all the tips I mentioned in this video, your relaxer stretches will never remain the same. Like, you'll be shocked at the results that your relaxer stretches will now give you. And trust me when I say this, if you are a relaxed hair girly and you are not stretching your relaxers, you are missing out, because one of the best ways to get your hair longer as a relaxed hair girly is through relaxer stretches. By the way guys, if you need a step-by-step guide that is going to help you get your hair longer and healthier, then you need to get the ultimate hair growth guide, which is linked down in the description box below. So this guide contains a 30 days daily step-by-step hair growth routine. So if you've been struggling to create a routine, or you don't know where to start from, you don't know when to wash your hair, when to deep condition, when to install your protective styles, all of this is literally included as part of the routine. Like, it is a done for you step-by-step daily guide. You just have to copy and implement it. Apart from that, it also contains product recommendations for you, hair growth secrets, hair growth staples, solutions to hair breakage, split ends, dry hair, and so much more. So if you have not gotten yours, make sure to get yours now, and make sure to link it down in the description box below. So yeah guys, that is it for today's video, and that is it on how to successfully stretch your relaxed hairs without breakage. If you watched this video this far and you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you will be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.